are going to be watching Formula 1 explained by an idiot. I have been getting into racing content. I have a couple more racing reacts if you'd like to check it out. I'm going to put it on a nice, beautiful playlist. Future me is going to be very mad because that means I'm going to have to go and do that. But let's check out what's going on with F1. I don't really know a lot. I don't even really drive that much. I live in Florida, so I'm afraid of the road. So let's see.
Formula 1, often referred to as the pinnacle of motorsports. It's been the face of racing for so many years now, and I, a very, very intellectual F1 fan, am going to attempt to explain it.
Yay! I'm an idiot! I do need an explanation. Actually, the only thing I know about F1 is that you guys told me it's for rich people. I think we looked up the price of one of the cars and it was in the millions.
Except I'm not exactly very intellectual. Now, Formula 1, with all of its glamour, beauty, speed, adrenaline, and engineering, is essentially 20 rich guys driving in circles.
I mean, that's better than me. I can't even drive down the road without getting hit by another car.
Thank you so much for watching.
It's over!
Nothing, just an incident.
Now, of course, Formula 1 isn't just 20 millionaires driving in circles, but the circles are on crack, although, not gonna lie, it's kind of accurate. But you know, Formula 1 is so much more than that, and I'm going to bring you guys deep down the rabbit hole. Obviously, some of you are probably watching this because you want to try to get into Formula 1, which is relatively pretty easy. Okay,
well, that's good.
As you can probably tell. But if you're already a diehard fan, okay, I kind of don't know why the hell you're still watching this video. But hey, you know, this video is going to be one hell of a journey. So grab your popcorn, clear your tears away if you're a Ferrari fan, grab your Red Bull or your Monster Energy. And this is going to be Formula 1 explained by an idiot.
Yay! The only thing I'm thinking about with Formula 1 that could be very interesting because the cars are very expensive, this is just kind of like some pre-analysis, is that it would be cool to be an engineer or like somebody who works on cars and your only job is make it faster. No, money is not really that big of an obstacle. Just do whatever you want. That's pretty cool. Yeah! Boom! Faster! Oh shit, what the? Dude, I'm gonna say something. Why are the racing fans so good with the music? Every racing video we've watched has an absolute banger OST. Damn! Okay, here we go, write this down.
Alright, so starting off with the basic stuff, F1 is a sport where 10 teams with 2 drivers each race for points that tally up to a Drivers' World Championship, which is
okay, first of all, I didn't know this was duos. I thought this was solos.
Equivalent to like the Piston Cup. The F1 season starts in late February and ends in November. December to February is essentially the season break where there's no F1, aka the time where I lose my sanity and curl up into a ball and start crying. But it's also the time where some spicy F1 news gets released. In work terms, it's like hearing your favorite manager got fired or a coworker moved to the rival's business. So
do you guys have like fantasy F1? Not like, that sounded a little like, you know, wow. But like how there's like fantasy football and you can like do bets and stuff. Yeah, this seems like this needs fantasy because everybody has so much money that it would be nice to just gamble.
there are 24 different races this year, and in each race, drivers essentially score points, and the one with the most points wins the championship. Woo! Points are only given to drivers who finish within the top 10, essentially saying skill issue to the other 10 drivers on the grid.
Once again, most unsportive driver of the grid.
Suck my balls, mate.
But aside
What? Someone said there's F1 Yowie, and then I looked on the screen, he said, suck my balls. Well, maybe this is a toxic Yowie.
from that, these points also tally up to a Constructors' Championship, which is the combined points of the two drivers in a team. The team with the most points from both drivers takes the Constructors' Championship, and the higher the team places, the more money that they get. Now, every single team in F1 has two drivers. There's no way around that. You can't have three, probably just a reserve driver, which is essentially somebody to back up the other two drivers in case somebody gets sick. So every team has to have two drivers.
Okay, well, make me driver number 3, say I'm a substitute, and I'll just be the personality hire. I'll just, like, be talking in the mic and shit.
Except for Aston Martin, because Lance Stroll is incapable of being a good driver.
What? Wait, Aston Martin? Isn't that a VTuber? I'm so chronically online. Wait, I'm confused. Yes, wait, isn't that a VTuber?
Lift it. No.
You idiot, man! How can you be so useless, man?
Now, each team before the season starts develops a car that follows the regulations set by the FIA. If you
Look at that one. That one was hollow.
team before the season starts develops a car that follows the
Look at that. Chromo hollow. Holy crap. That one looks really cool. That's like those rainbow Pokemon cards.
regulations set by the FIA. If you don't know what the FIA is, it stands for Forever an Insufferable Pain in the Ass.
Oh.
No, Mike, that was so not right.
So the FIA basically makes these regulations that all teams have to follow to make their cars, and each team has to try to develop the fastest car which will help their drivers win points.
What? Do you got a goon? What is... Why is he wet and sticking his tongue out? Nobody told me this was a part of F1. I'm so confused.
Now, the development of the car also involves engines. So far, there are 4 engine manufacturers in F1, which are Mercedes, Ferrari, Honda, and Renault.
Oh, okay. So that's how they have all the money?
Teams will have to choose an engine to work with, and they have to create the most aerodynamically efficient car on the grid. Because
Cool.
if they don't, something
an
like
Amiga
this
Blue.
happens.
Yippee! Oh! You could die? Obviously, they're going so fast that was like... That was my first impact with reality right there. Oh my god.
Alright guys, so ready up for me to nerd out. I'm straight up gonna look like this. And this time
No, I like that. I like nerdy people. Nerdy people are my favorite people.
I'm gonna be speedrunning some F1 terms you need to know. Pretty
Okay,
much
write
the
this
ones
down.
you need to know to understand everything that I'm gonna say. Because if I don't include this part, I'll actually just sound like a professional yapper throughout the video.
No,
Okay,
that's good. I love yappers. Okay, get it.
so here we go. Pole position. It's basically
Okay.
where a driver qualifies with the fastest time and starts first on the grid.
Oh, okay. So pole position is for the pace pals, speedrunning ambies. Got it. Write that down.
Leclerc is very familiar with that, but is incapable of winning from that position.
Oh.
Next,
That felt like a burn. I'm not sure because I'm not that educated, but I see what's happening here.
next is a podium. No, it's not the thing that Joe Biden stands on when he's
Oh.
trying to deliver a speech. Big emphasis on the word trying.
Oh, hell no. This is going to be the worst clip of all time. I'm scared for him.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him.
Instead of podium
I sometimes feel like that's what you guys hear when I talk.
in F1 is where a driver finishes within the top 3, essentially second or third, as they get to stand on a podium after a race and potentially break another person's trophy. Another term
Oh.
is back markers, the teams or drivers that are all the way back of the competition. They're
Okay, guys, I have a question just because I was looking at the men on the screen. If you're an F1 driver, are you sort of kind of an idol? Because, like, they seem like they're taking well care of their hair. And, like, they're wearing nice clothes. So, like, you always have to, like, look your best. Okay. So we need, like, Uma Musume for, like, F1.
just there, all the way back there, which is something that Nikita Mazepin is very familiar with.
Oh.
Moving on, we have P1, P2, and P3. The P is for position, and the number after that is, well, it's kind of obvious. If you do not understand that, I swear to God, there is no hope for you to understand Formula 1. Pit stop.
This is supposed to be for the idiots!
Stops are where drivers change their tires, and you start to hear flies in your ears.
Where? Wait, how do you get to be somebody in the pit? Do they make a lot of money? Like, the drivers make a lot of money. Do these guys get some, like, trickle-down theory or something? Yes? So you just have to show people you're, like, fast with your hands? And then you could get this job? And then maybe be a little educated? Engineering degree? Well, I'm not going to school.
And finally, DRS, which makes your car go faster as its rear wing opens, which allows for less drag. And it can only be active in the DRS zones of a racetrack. If you don't know what it stands for once again, then this video will certainly help you out.
Then they start catching up, he'll be grateful.
You know what DRS stands for, Noah?
What?
Suck my dick.
Okay.
Alright, so now we have the race weekends. It's essentially the schedule of an F1 race, which takes place on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday is free practice, where drivers familiarize themselves with the track. Saturday is qualifying, which determines where you place on the grid. And Sunday is the race day. But not gonna lie, I'm kind of not really satisfied with that explanation. A more accurate way to put the race weekend is essentially Friday, everybody is delusional. Saturday, Ferrari fans are extremely happy. And on Sunday, Red Bull fans are extremely happy as well.
This seems like a scripted event. How does he already know everything that's gonna happen?
We hear the Dutch national anthem for the 23rd time in a year.
Wait, are the Dutch good at this? I had no idea.
Oh, it's textbook stuff, Max.
No, come on, stop this shit.
Okay, so what happens once the race goes on? What happens after it's lights out?
You should know this is out of my tax bracket because this is the closest I'll ever see a Rolex. This is insane. This is like a crazy sponsor and they're spamming.
And away we go. Well, believe it or not, it's not just cars going in circles over and over. Although most of it is pretty much that. But no, you know, there's something called tire wear, which I'm gonna explain as clearly as possible.
And I didn't even think about that just looking at the clip he put in. Like, it can rain. Then, like, do the engineers also have to think about, like, the terrain? Because then they have to get tires that are okay in the rain. And then the drivers also have to be okay with the rain, too. Dude, it adds so much. Next, they should do, like, lava. Like, lava map.
In bedroom terms. There's the hard tires, which last the longest. There's the soft tires, which finishes the fastest. Medium tires are kind of the in-between. Wet tires is used when the track gets spicy and slippery. And the final tire compound is intermediates, which are used when the track is somewhat wet, which is about 1 to 3 milliliters damp. Whereas for wets, it's ideal for when the track is really wet, like something around 4 milliliters damp.
Yeah, like when I showed the girls my League of Legends match history. That's what we need, the wet tires.
Above. I just sounded like the biggest nerd in history. My goodness. Part of my F1 addiction, guys, it's actually incurable. Like, I would be watching F1 while doing literally anything to the point where I would run out of content to watch and start watching videos of a monkey putting out the fastest lap in a race.
What?
Anyways, we have pit stops. So this is where the teams switch out their tires in a race. Teams are required to pit at least once and change to a different tire compound. So once
Wait, really? They have to do it one time? I didn't know that was a rule. That's kind of cool, so that way you don't just show up as like a bench sitter.
Again, in bedroom terms, when you're hard and she's wet, you probably don't last as long as a pit stop, which is like sub 3 seconds.
Work on your stamina, chat. You can do it. I believe. I believe. Hoyo, thank you for that, Ritz. I love F1. And thank you, Harry Balls. If you want to see an amazing movie based on F1, I recommend the movie Rush. It's about the rivalry between James Hunt and Niki Lauda. Okay, you said James Hunt, and I was very scared that you were trying to make me say something really bad, and then I got to the next one, I was like, I think it's safe.
I have no idea if you guys understood that. But just as a rundown of what it's like when F1 teams pit, Red Bull's pit stops usually go like this.
Okay. Oh, that is a lot of trust. Like, do you think the driver pre-fires so that way they get the tightest split? So you and your team kind of have to be one. Like, you have to be working together, Attack on Titan paths, speaking, like, wow, it's pretty intimate.
While Ferrari's pit stops are pretty much this.
Look, they're not even there. There's not a single intermediate tire in sight.
They came in without the driver had called it.
As for strategy, different races means different tires can be used. For example, there could be races that require drivers to have 2 pit stops because their tires don't last as long. Or some people would go on a one-stop strategy and risk it all.
Oh, okay, so you got glass cannon versus like a stamina tank build. Sometimes it's nice to just gamba on the one pit stop, but if you're scared, you could have 2.
Strategies can change depending on the situation, but essentially the teams opt for the most optimal tire combo.
Yeah.
Except for Ferrari.
Really?
Everything.
Box, Carlos, box. Oh. Confirmed.
Not now. Oh, why were they telling you to pit?
What?
Now, with all of the info on Formula 1, which you guys just had thrown into your faces like Logan Sargent whenever he sees a barrier, you're probably...
That has gotta hurt too.
Probably wondering, which team should I support? And well, that's an amazing question because
Yahoo!
me being, you know, a very intelligent Formula One fan,
He stopped to smell the flowers. He's a sensitive soul. He was going for a Twitter fan cam.
I'm going to give you guys the most accurate guide on F1 teams and drivers. Trust me, you will never see
There's bald people! I know my mods are bald. Maybe you guys can vote for the bald guy.
more accurate information in the world than this video.
It's a Ferrari.
It's a shitbox.
Ferrari. So this team has pretty much had depressed drivers and fans since 2007. They do
emo?
completely abysmal team strategies that make you think that you're high on crack, and has completely destroyed their past legacy
Oh my god, wait, so this is like the sad boy build.
of being the strongest team in Formula One. Their driver Charles Leclerc has probably
He looks so sad! Oh my god! That's me after I spent $200 on Uma pools and I didn't get shit!
spent $1 million on his therapist after the tragedy, also called the 2022 season. And he's probably going to spend more after his contract extension. Now, if you don't know how this contract stuff works, basically these drivers are like employees and can get replaced or kept when their contract expires. Like the other driver, Carlos Sainz, who is going to be replaced by Lewis Hamilton in 2025. Hey guys, is it hammer time yet? Copy, we are checking.
Change your car. You've got a problem. Change.
Did he do good? I don't know, there's maybe some fans in chat. Did he do good? Just because now we're kind of in the future. No.
your f***ing car.
Next up is Red Bull. Their theme song is pretty much the Dutch national anthem, or...
Whoa!
Some of their fans started supporting them probably because they're Dutch, or their team has been losing too much to the point where supporting Red Bull is their only way of coping.
Some people want to win so bad they give up on their morality.
Red Bull also has the literal F-35 fighter jet as their Formula One car, since their chief technical officer has an entire research facility built into his head. As for their drivers, their main driver has daddy issues and their second driver forgot how to drive in 2023.
This could be very popular. There's a lot of lore. You know, like sometimes, I don't know if you guys watch other sports, but you'll watch like American football, and on the casting they'll be like, I can't believe Jetty Jones is out here this week. He got divorced last month and he lost the kids, but he's still playing. I feel like that's the way F1 is. Oh my god!
I've crashed it. I've crashed it almost immediately.
Safest Florida driver. Oh my god, wait, his dad was abusive in his training? Oh, how do you guys know all that? There's so much lore. He beat him up and left him at a gas station. Holy crap! This is crazy.
No, Mikey, no, Mikey, that was so not right.
As for Mercedes, their team principal has a deep hatred for headsets, and they used to dominate a couple years ago, but now they completely forgot how to build a car. Now, Mercedes fans are some of the funniest people out there, but also some of the most ungodly, annoying fans in the world.
We all know we thought of another Phantom. I'm not gonna say what it is, but you know.
Particularly Team LH, aka Lewis Hamilton Glazers, still talking about him being 8-time world champion, which I do understand if you find the 2021 season controversial, but these guys are literally putting 8-time world champion literally everywhere. Like, I would see comments saying that Lewis is 8-time world champion in a YouTube video analyzing the Cars movie.
You guys are insane glazers! That's the legacy? The legacy of the glaze? My god! Go work at a Krispy Kreme!
Now, of course, I'm not going to target all of you Mercedes fans out there. There's some of you guys who are, you know, actually normal. But to all of the Team LH fans out there, instead of yapping about how the FIA is racist, instead—
What? Wait, what is going on? Oh! Wait, is F1 kind of like you pick like a faction and then you just start fighting other factions? That's kind of interesting.
use that energy to pray that Lewis has a good therapist, since he's going to Ferrari in 2025. Also, Mercedes' other driver, George Russell, has a crippling addiction of crashing into people.
To the outside to cover off Carlos Sainz, trying to go wide, and there you go. George Russell
He just fully turned into me.
What? You're allowed to do that?
I'm moving up and down, side to side like a roller coaster.
McLaren is basically the papaya team. They're orange and a team
Oh, papaya! Papaya! Papaya!
with a really rich history and a strong one as well, as long as we decide to ignore their, McLaren-Honda partnership. Overall, they're a strong powerhouse in F1 along with Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull. As for their drivers, Lando Norris can't finish P1 probably until he's like 73 years old and is mentally incapable of saying anything normal in an interview.
Good!
Man's had a good moustache. It might be that. I'm not able to grow.
While Oscar Piastri is really talented and so happy that he literally looks like this.
Aww.
Now, Alpine is what I call the schizophrenic team. Like,
what? Did they hear the voices?
literally, these guys are fighting absolutely no one other than their own imagination.
There's shadow boxing. Maybe he sees, like, in Mario, whenever you're driving on like the time trials, and you can see the ghost ahead of you. Like, maybe they just have that ability. They can see the ghost.
They're just a team that's just there. They don't stand out, but if you like a car that's pink, like one of my friends who doesn't know jack about F1, then sure, you can definitely support them. Now, what about their drivers? How good are they? Well, all you need to know about them is that they're both French.
Oh. I'm gonna say it. Expedition 33 did a lot for the French community, but then they still lost because now everybody hates them again. I liked Expedition 33. I don't care. Everybody turns so quick.
Okay, on to the next team.
Boundary exchange. Please abort the fastest lap attempt before the end of the lap.
For Williams, money ruined their capability to keep up in recent times.
Really?
They've had
They're
a rich
poor?
history like the other big powerhouses.
Dude, I can't believe I said they're poor, and they have probably seen more money than I will ever see in my entire life.
Williams used to be a backmarker team for a couple of years, but their comeback has been slow but strong. I could say the same for my academics. Actually, never mind, not really. I've actually been doing awful. I'm just deluding myself. Anyways, as for their drivers, Logan...
Here, I can try to fix that for him. Wait right here. Here, I got you. Here. All of it. Way. A+. Yay! 123. Woo!
I'm just deluding myself. Anyways, as for their drivers, Logan Sargent and Alex Albon, one of them doesn't know what a kilometer is, and the other one is very nice. That was honestly the best summary I could come up for these two. I'm gonna kill myself. Aston Martin showed huge promise at the start of the 2023 season until they scrambled like maniacs not knowing how to develop their car. Also, yeah guys, throughout the season, teams in F1 can introduce upgrades to their car as long
TeamViewer was a sponsor? I'm sorry, that was just shocking. I was not expecting that.
as they don't reach the cost cap, which is a limit of how much they can spend throughout the year.
Oh, so they do have a cap. You can't spend over that. That's kind of interesting. I feel like that makes it a little bit more, fair.
Now, most of the time, upgrades work brilliantly, except for whatever Aston Martin has been putting into their cars halfway throughout 2023. When it comes to their drivers, one of them is a 75-year-old rookie who makes TikToks every day, but...
Who's that? Why was he doing that?
still keeps up with the competition. And their other driver is so consistently garbage that another team even roasted him in an interview.
Dominating.
All right, one more.
This is like Alonso and Stroll.
Are you having fun with this? You all right with this, guys?
I had enough of both of you. You let the team down.
Haas, Sauber, and the RB Formula 1 team. Now, these three are just there, you know. It's really sad. They don't stand out. They're essentially the back markers. And when it comes to their drivers, one driver is allergic to finishing in the podiums. Another got his wife pregnant after getting pole position. This one is the type to get friend-zoned.
Was she also on the pole in position? What the hell?
Other guy is a Finnish Australian who posts pics of his butt online.
What? Naked! He's freaking naked! My god, he's got fish swimming up his wiener! enough monsters inside me to know not to do that.
Another dude is planning to open a restaurant but never does it despite having millions of dollars. And the final driver is a high-performance athlete.
I'm a high-performance athlete. Athletes sweat. Sweat, baby. Sweat.
This is the way I feel when I win a Marvel Rivals match. I'm an athlete.
Sweat.
Now, so far throughout the start of the video and until now, I've been saying that F1 is literally the pinnacle of motorsports. Apart from the Cars movie, of course. But what makes F1 so good? Well,
I liked him. He had personality, but then I saw people saying I miss him. What happened? Is he okay? He seemed nice and funny. What happened? He retired! He graduated! He's fine. Okay, thank God. I was very scared. You guys were talking like something really bad happened. I mean, graduation's not good, but I was very, very scared.
Well, it's the crashes and accidents, which usually go like course. But what makes F1 so good? Well, it's the crashes and accidents, which usually go like this.
He was stalking that guy.
Now ready to attack. Wait, what's the problem? Took it. Ah, there's a wheel in the
So crashes and accidents in F1 are not just entertaining, but they can cause the track to be dangerous. And this results in flags being waved during a session.
Dude, has anybody ever ran like a racing event that was also an obstacle course? Maybe there's like spikes all over the ground that you gotta drive around, flamethrowers. Maybe we could have seismic activity. Something that would add terrain difficulty. Not yet? Well, maybe I should set this up.
One of them is the yellow flag, single ones which are usually waved when a car goes off track or a minor incident happens, while double yellow flags are for hazardous things. Next up is the red flag, which are for major incidents.
Guys, I have a question, but don't think I'm a misogynist. That's not a good way to word that. But like, do they have the hot girls with the flags at the start of the race? I'm just wondering because I always see that in movies and stuff. No, that's NASCAR. No, they're at the end. They got rid of them. Oh, they did? Dude, they even got rid of them in Crash Bandicoot. And I'm not a furry, but they were hot.
Like Zhou Guanyu getting his car turned into a fidget spinner, Charles Leclerc crashing in Monaco for like the 50th time, and Sergio Perez in literally every race in 2023. Now there's also other flags like the blue flag, which warns slower cars that a faster one is approaching them. There's
is that not embarrassing? Dude, you're so slow. Now look at this flag of shame. How does that happen? That is really bad. You're getting laughed. Kind of. That's drag racing. Oh, okay. Get laughed, idiot.
Black flag for a penalty warning or a disqualification. Green flag, which means that the race is on again. And finally, the checkered flag, where drivers decide the winner through a chess game after the race.
What?
That was a joke.
Oh. I was like, they gotta have the bronze on the track and the mind right after.
In case you guys couldn't tell. Another amazing part
I'm so gullible. I actually got one guide by a video.
F1 are the team radios, which my boy Fernando Alonso here is known for some iconic ones like these.
Oh, good.
Mate, I have no brakes.
What?
No tires. We are out of the points. I mean, we try to do whatever, but I don't care too much.
Don't forget that there's also Kimi Räikkönen,
Can we FF? I'm kind of over it.
who talks more on the radio than he does anywhere else.
Quite famous by you two.
Have you guys seen that one guy who plays basketball? But he always gets kind of made into memes that he doesn't want to even be there, but he's really good. Oh, I think it starts with a J or Jovic or something like that. He kind of gives me that vibe.
Yeah. Anyway.
Hey! Hey! Steering wheel, somebody tell him to give it to me.
In F1, there's also rivalries like Charles and Max throughout the start of the 2022 season until Ferrari completely destroyed Charles's mental health.
Guys, he looks like somebody. Can somebody help me? He looks just like somebody. Megamind! Thank you, 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 thank you. Thank you.
There's also the iconic 2021 season, which also had a rivalry between Max and Lewis, where these two were so attracted to each other in the race that the FIA almost gave them a penalty for public display of affection.
What? Is that what happens at the end of the race? You get to kiss
perfection. Alright, so next up are the rules, which are made by the FIA, who decide on who gets punished when they break the rules. And well, they are known for some pretty controversial decisions, which really just explains the forever and insufferable pain in the ass. But anyways, here's me speedrunning some of the most important rules in F1. So track limits. If 4 wheels of your car gets off the white lines of a track, they blow you up. If you're—
What? Like with the holy hand grenade or a bazooka? Maybe super sheep? That seems a little extreme.
speeding in the pit lane, you're going too fast, they blow you up.
What?
Overtaking rules, you kiss another car, they blow you up. And lastly, the final and most important rule, if you're Romain Grosjean, you actually blow up.
What?
Let's go and get it.
What was that?
I have it printed out.
Alright, so the next aspect of Formula One are its team principals. Now these guys are pretty much the leader of their teams and are the people who are guiding them to victory.
Okay, so they're like the legacy Uma. I need other hobbies other than gambling. I need a new hobby.
Now the team principal of Mercedes, Toto Wolff, is known for printing things out, and he's pretty much a mafia boss turned into Pookie Bear in recent seasons.
Die funktionieren im Moment nicht. That's harassment.
Next up is Christian.
I really do gotta get into F1. Everybody's just yapping and I love it.
Horner, the team principal of Red Bull, he got unbelievably roasted by Martin Brundle.
Shame you're too old to have driven here, really. I am too old to have driven here, but you would have liked it. Yeah. Shame you wasn't fast enough to get to Formula One.
And there's also the team principal of Aston Martin, Mike Crack.
What?
I'm not gonna say anything about his name. Next up is James Valls, who still gives severe nightmares to Valtteri Bottas.
He's really doing this. He's
Valtteri, it's James. Please abort the fastest lap attempt before the end of the lap.
Next is Andreas.
That was like a rich voice. You guys ever hear that? Like sometimes someone will laugh too. It's like, oh, you're like, wow, they are rich.
Stella, the team principal for McLaren. I honestly didn't even know this guy was team principal. Like, I still think it's Pookie Bear Zach Brown because, like, he's just 10 times more entertaining despite him being cringy in some certain moments.
I love to be cringe. To be cringe is to be free. I say this all the time. Yada, yada, yada. Like, you know, if you're cringe, that means you don't care about other people's opinions. Yada, yada, yada. Being cringed is based. Yada, yada, yada.
Abbiamo fatto noi. Arrivederci.
Finally...
What? JoJo characters be like.
It's gonna be Günther Steiner. Now I know he was replaced recently, but piss off, you know, he's still in my heart. Anyway, Günther is the type of guy to swear 9 times in a sentence with only 5 words in it.
He does not smash my door. Tell him that. If he doesn't want to come back, he better tells me now. Is it just now? Yeah. He smashed my fucking office door.
So that is Formula One and the best explanation that I can come up for it. Okay. It's obviously, you know, the most accurate explanation of the sport, but
everybody looks so sad. Every still image I see, I can see depression. What is happening?
But I might still have probably missed a couple of things throughout making this video, so if I did miss out on anything...
Like, look! Sad! Look at how sad he looks. They're not sad. Some of them are Dutch.
Be sure to let me know. But what I do know, though, is that even if I might have fumbled, I didn't fumble as hard as Lance Stroll did in 2023.
Oh
Thank you so much for watching.
This was hard. That was awesome. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you would like to watch more F1 videos, please put them in the Discord because I'm a little bit lay stupid, so I'm trying to figure out which ones are good to watch. And if we would like to learn more, please come by and let me know in the comment section as well. Come by the Twitch and BerryCrepe. I would super appreciate that. This video was amazing and awesome. Clappy, clappy, clappy. Please check out the original. Have a great day. And remember, use code Berry to check out for 10% off your subs. Goodbye, my YouTube. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.